One of the most frequently asked questions I get is about the meniscus. I used to have all kinds of meniscus problems back when I never let my knees over my toes. Now I have hundreds of meniscus success stories for others. What changed? Well, it starts with understanding what your meniscus is. I didn't even know, going through meniscus injuries myself, what my meniscus was. It's a rubbery shock absorber that's between your thigh bone and your shin bone. So it's in your knee, and it's a shock absorber. Okay, so let's look at an example of why I've gone so many years now and actually approached life and been able to play my sport harder without meniscus issue. This probably used to be one of my worst abilities, is the ability with my knee over my toe. Now it's one of my best abilities. This is a major position in sports when we're actually getting hurt with our meniscus. So the fact I'm so strong here now with zero pain, this is probably why I don't get meniscus issues. I have that shock absorption. But that's not how I handled my meniscus issues, or it's not how I've gotten hundreds of meniscus success stories for others. That's because the second factor is that a meniscus injury is not just one blanket thing. There is a depth of the tear, and the deeper the tear, the harder it is to get blood flow. So I'll put a full article that has the research, and the research basically shows that for a lot of meniscus injuries, it heals just as well or better without surgery. So that would have to relate to that blood flow factor. Can it get blood flow to heal? Now, if that, what I was just showing you, would hurt your knee now, maybe at some level, you can do that exercise because we had range of motion, which we can shorten, and we had load, which we can change as a scale from loading to bulletproof the area to negative, less than your own body weight. So that's really a microcosm of why I think there's been so many meniscus success stories. You see, even the most extreme things I'm doing are actually less force, such as the weighted thing I just did there. That's less force than something like Olympic weightlifting, where they're handling, 3-4 times as much load as that. So there are people out there who have higher levels of bulletproofing. Why was I fragile? You see what I mean? That's what my system is. It's actually really, it exists for the fragile to be able to take that in control yourself and become less fragile. Now we do see, tons of professional athletes and stuff like that using it to extend careers or maybe to break through plateaus, because even some of the most athletic people might still have some weak links. But in essence, knees over toes system is not something more extreme. My contributions actually are innovating or just finding and popularizing the regressions, the stuff that we can actually start to get the blood flow and the shock absorption. So hopefully that makes sense. And if you want to do it, I have just one really strong piece of advice, is get your form coach. Whether you get a coach in person who knows this stuff and can coach your form, or whether you do it online, my business is really just making form coaching as cheap as it's ever been. So people who are getting perfect form, we then see now they can, for the rest of their life, they can use that data, and they're now getting incredible amounts of success stories for others.